Some people in mainstream media get it. Lawrence O'Donnell, many times, oftentimes, more times than not, let's say, he gets it. And listen, I don't know what happens with people in the media who get into their positions, and I'm assuming they go into it with altruistic reasons, with noble intent to hold power to account. And then something happens. There used to be a term, I think it's still probably used, but it's called Potomac fever, usually assigned for like people who run for Congress and they have all these high and mighty ideals. And then as soon as they get here, they get corrupted by the influences of Washington, D.C. I think there's something to be said about that. But I want to play this clip for you. But before I play this clip of Lawrence O'Donnell, really, it's an indictment of his colleagues at yesterday's presser who didn't push back, who didn't outright tell Donald Trump, what you're saying is not true. Why don't you tell us some truths? None of that happened. There's no pushback. It's just them waiting for their clicky soundbite or something. I don't know. It's the same thing I criticize day after day after day, month after month after month, year after year after year at this point. That just doesn't seem to be changing. But hopefully, if they're criticized from a colleague, from within, they'll reflect on it. But I want to talk about what the motivation was for the Trump presser yesterday, or 2 days ago. And there's a tweet that really is emblematic of what they were going for. And it's from Jason Miller, a former, well, he's not a former Trump advisor. He's current, but he used to be in it like a White House advisor. And he is one of the worst, abusive to women. Like there's a rumor, I don't know I don't want to get in trouble defaming him, but I've heard that he got in trouble for putting an abortion pill in his girlfriend, not his wife, but his girlfriend's drink, triggering an abortion in her. But he did this without her intent, without her consent, without her knowledge. He's just a horrible, vile, sinister, just a piece of shit of a human being. And he tweeted this. I guess I'll stop with the exposition. He tweeted this, wall to wall, Kamala Harris can't do this. What they did was created by design, a distraction, and the media bid onto it. The media went along with it, covered the entire insane, rambling, no message speech of Donald Trump. Now, some of this, a lot of people will say, and I could be one of them, I could be convinced of this, that it's important for people to see the decline of Donald Trump. And I agree. That's a good thing. Absolutely. All of these clips end up being fodder for people like me, people in my position in independent media and hopefully mainstream media to point out the dangerous condition that Donald Trump's currently in. Absolutely. However, in the moment, there's no pushback. In the moment, they ask a question and he rambles and rambles and rambles and tells just insane, off-the-chain lies and doesn't get pushback. Things that are easily fact-checked in the moment, in real time. That also could have been caught on camera, and they didn't do it. And this was engineered this way. That's what he's getting at. He's putting all of the screen grabs from the different news agencies. Wall to wall, Donald Trump. Kamala can't do this. Yeah, she can. And she did. And she does. It's another lie, fueling the propaganda. So here's Lawrence O'Donnell from MSNBC talking about this, laying down the gauntlet in a stark indictment of the mainstream media and their culpability in this. And he reads from a clip I was going to cover in a separate video, but there's no need to. He did it for me, and he did it expertly. Thank you, Lawrence O'Donnell. Watch this.
Not one of them dared to yell at Donald Trump today. Not one of them. Not one of them dared to yell, "You're not answering the question." So the special treatment Donald Trump gets from the Supreme Court and elsewhere extends tragically and harmfully, and always has, to much of the press corps. Here's what happened when Donald Trump was asked a good question by NBC's Garrett Haake. Question: Would you direct the FDA to revoke access to mifepristone? Here is what Donald Trump said to that yes or no question, which no matter how many times you read this answer, is not an answer. Trump, sure, you could do things that would supplement, absolutely. And those things are pretty open and humane. But you have to be able to have a vote. After all, all I want to do is give everybody a vote. And the votes are taking place right now as we speak. But it's a very good, there are many things on a humane basis that you can do outside of that, but you also have to give a vote. And the people are going to have to decide. The words Donald Trump spoke to those reporters in response to that clear, simple, and important yes or no question were an insult to everyone in that room, and they took the insult. Nothing in those words was an answer, nothing. Donald Trump did not answer questions today. Don't let anyone tell you that lie, that Donald Trump answered questions. He did not. He never does. Anyone who tells you that Donald Trump answered reporters' questions is lying to you. And anyone who tells you that is not smart enough to know what an answer is. Donald Trump is not smart enough to answer questions.
Not only did what Donald Trump say make zero sense, did it not adhere to reality, it's also dangerous for the fact of what he's trying to justify, what he will allow to take place, and even promulgate and promote, letting his Project 2025 goons run wild all over the country, fundamentally and structurally changing our culture, our government, our country. And that's what does need to be pushed back. Our media, as I've said, I don't know how many times, is the only occupation listed as protected in the Constitution of the United States, in the First Amendment. That Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Or of the press. Journalism is a constitutionally protected occupation. And when you shit on it by not doing it properly, it harms all of us. Because the Constitution starts, we the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union. We the people. You may work for a private media organization, but you're working for the people. Your job is protected by the people. So thanks to Lawrence O'Donnell. Fantastic. We need more of this and less of the shit show that was put on at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Independent media, very important right now. There are a few in mainstream media who will do a good job. But this is where you will find the truth, not just on my show. There are a host of other hosts out there who do a good job too in this space, on this platform and others. And I would suggest that you find one that tickles your fancy or whatever and support that person. A couple of bucks goes a long way when you do this work. Anyway, if I am that person, I'll just get there, I guess. You can become a channel member for $2 a month. You can click the join button, see what's involved. You can also go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Those are fantastic ways to help support the promulgation of reality in this insane world that we live in. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. I am there. And I'm going to let you go. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for being organized and passionate about making our country and by extension, the world, a better place. Be genuine. Take care of one another.